Okay, welcome to the Monday Night Movie Club. I am joined with my good friends Aiden, Vivek, and Xander. I myself and Jared, JJ, Carter, and we're reviewing. Wait, what are we reviewing again? Okay, movie number 1, Thor: Love and Thunder.
So, Gorr the God Butcher vowed revenge on the gods and started to kill them. So Thor and Jane team up to go off and fight him.
So, what scene stood out to you, Aiden?
Nothing really.
Nothing really. Not even the goats. Okay. Go ahead.
A scene that stood out to me was like the scene where Thor says goodbye to Star-Lord, because like I feel like Star-Lord was like an influence on him that love is important in your life. So that's what I think. That was a scene, one of the scenes that stood out to me. Even though Star-Lord was barely in the movie much, it still stood out to me.
It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Shakespeare, I think. Do you think this movie was trying to convey any message to the audience, Xander?
To keep fighting and overcome your struggles.
What about you, Vivek?
Yeah, it was. It was trying to convey that love is important in your life, and your life would be better if you actually have love.
Okay. What about you, Aiden?
Love is more important than revenge, and you should focus on love instead of having revenge.
All right. Okay. We're going to go back to you because I cannot seem to get orders right. Okay, did you see any major common themes, such as sibling rivalry, redemption?
Love and revenge.
Wow, we're getting a lot of that. Okay, Vivek. What did you see in any common themes?
I saw I saw love, obviously, because that's the name of the movie, but I also saw like forgiveness a lot, because at the end Thor, he chose to actually like help Gorr by taking care of his daughter, which like he had a rivalry with him, but he still could have said no, it's your problem, I'm not going to do this for you. So he still took responsibility.
Are there any elements in this film that reminded you of any stories or messages from the Bible, Xander?
Yeah, when Gorr is in the garden and the sword calls to him, once he uses the sword, he becomes cursed, kind of like how when Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden and they were tempted.
This is a reminder for the audience. This is back when Gorr had semi-normal skin tones. Okay, back to you.
And they were tempted to eat the apple that God said not to eat, thereby cursing them with sin. What about you, Jared?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jared.
About, what stood out to me?
Yeah.
Well, this isn't fair. You're all triple teaming me. Okay, anyways. So I think it was really interesting how Thor and Jane were so devoted to each other, and how much Thor changed in his appreciating in the way he treated the women in his life throughout the movie. And is Gorr actually a bad guy? What's your take on this?
It depends how you see the bad guys, but I can see the reason for him killing the gods.
Yeah.
It's bad, but the gods did not answer his prayers, and so I can see why he took the necklace sword and killed all the gods. But at the end, he sadly didn't kill all the gods.
So are you saying that all gods are evil if they don't answer your prayers?
well, if it's a god you believe in, and kind of like the god that you believe in, and they don't answer the prayer, and you're about to die, and you're doing it for like someone you love, they're not technically evil, just like Gorr, but I can see the reason to killing those gods.
So, if you were Jane, would you have let the hammer go and just decided to live your life and recover from the cancer and then return to being? If you haven't seen the movie, like, Jane was Thor's girlfriend who was dying of cancer, which really wasn't good. And, like, so she ended up finding Mjolnir, which is Thor's famous weapon. He had a different one, like this axe thing, which was kind of cool. And so we found out that Mjolnir does bring great health to the wearer. Not the wearer, the holder. Right? Okay. Right now. And so the hammer ended up responding to her, even after it had been broken. So, like, in essence, it did respond to her, and it gave her physical health. It gave her excellent physical health and strength and all that while she had it. But without it, the cancer progressed, and like it was not stopped, and the symptoms became even worse. So then she was faced with the decision of, like, let it go, or, like, keep using it, but knowing that she would die. So, what would you have done if you were in that situation?
Can I just pass for this one?
Okay.
I can go. If Mjolnir called out to me personally, and I had stage 4 cancer, and I knew they were like superheroes and stuff, bad guys to be killed, I would take it, and then I would probably use it, and if she had stage 4 cancer, pretty sure, so it's like bad, so yeah, I would take it and use it.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, who else doesn't want to have, like, instantly blonde hair? That would be interesting, but... Okay, what do you think of Thor and Gorr's relationship? And, like, honestly, I think, like, it is kind of a movie about Gorr and himself. They could have made him the main character, but then they wouldn't have been able to pull off a sequel to Ragnarok, so... And to be frank, Gorr, Love and Thunder, is kind of an awful name. Now, was the end satisfying? And was Thor adopting Gorr's daughter the right thing to do? Because, like, they didn't really have much of a choice, did he now?
In my opinion, I mean, Thor probably did do the right thing, adopting Gorr's daughter if he chose his daughter over killing all the gods. But personally, I feel the movie probably would have been better if Gorr did kill all the gods, because that's just every single movie I've seen, the good guy always wins, unless it's like multiple movies. But in the end of the end, the good guy always wins. It's just way too common in movies. I don't think I've ever seen a movie where the bad guy wins. So, Gorr, in the end, there's like the kids, they went to this thing with some eternity, and then Thor came there. This big rock was about to fall on all the kids, but he saved the kids, and then they got weapons, and then Thor gave the power of Zeus or himself, I don't know. But then Gorr summoned shadow monsters with an echo blade. Then the kids killed all of the shadow zombies or monsters. Then Gorr and Thor were fighting each other. And then Jane comes along with the hammer. They break the sword. And then Gorr was still holding the handle, but Jane trapped all the parts of the sword with her into her hammer because it was broken. And it can come off to like different pieces. And then that went together, broke the sword. And then the handle turned to dust. And then Jane was almost dead. And then Gorr went through the passageway to eternity because he caught Stormbreaker in the recent battle with Valkyrie, Jane, and Thor, and a bunch of other stuff. And in the end, Gorr decides to choose to bring back his daughter because he realizes that bringing back his daughter would be more important, even though he said that his daughter was a lucky one, not having to live in a world full of gods that don't kill about you. But he still chose love, and he died.
Still stunned. That was very, very good. That was a very, very good retelling. Now you can save yourself 2 hours doing something else, not watching Thor. So what would you have rated Thor: Love and Thunder? I know my answer, probably like a 6.9, but I don't watch that many movies, so maybe that corrupts my answer. And would I recommend it? Only to someone who likes lightning sound effects, lightning, and rock music.
I'd probably rate it a 1. It wasn't a very good movie. And I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Like a 2 or 3. I wouldn't really recommend it because, yeah, I just wouldn't recommend it.
I would rate it maybe 3, maybe 4. I would recommend it to very young children who like bad movies, but definitely not to Marvel fans, because that would make them think Marvel's bad, but it's not.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Tune in next time.